And we are live on Facebook. Hello, everyone out there. This is Andrew Berman from National Mortgage Professional Magazine, and you are joining us for another Mortgage Leadership Outlook. With me, I've got my good buddy, Vladimir, everyone is known as Vlad BienAime, who is the founder and CEO of Global DMS. Vlad, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
So Vlad is one of those like the rare people in the valuation space that got in long before HVCC was actually a thing, and everyone realized that there was a big money rush and an opportunity to get into it. Vlad has been just someone who's been dedicated to the evaluation space for how many decades now?
Probably 2.5 decades. I got in very, very young. I was young and fresh back then.
Yup. Well, I think we still all think you're still young, still fresh. So listen, Vlad, I'm glad you came on here. There's a couple of different things we want to talk to you about. Obviously, we want to talk actually about the business side of this. Talk about some of the things that you've experienced for the company. And if anyone has any questions, I am monitoring. In the Facebook chat, so feel free to ask any questions in the Facebook chat. But I want to get a little bit into actually, your personal story. So I know actually, you're right now confined. Talk to us a little bit about the situation that you're in, where you're kind of locked down at home.
Well, for me personally, I mean, honestly, it's not much different professionally. We decided about a little over a year and a half ago to start a work from home program. Our CEO, Jody Culp, developed it and rolled it out, and we monitored it to find out how well and how efficient we can be. And it turns out that people are actually more efficient at home, significantly noticeable. So it worked out very well. So people are coming in basically one day a week, and we've been doing that for over a year and a half. So for me, it hasn't changed much. We decided for safety a few weeks back to told employees that one day, let's just stay home altogether. So for us, it's been business as usual for the most part. So from that side, things have been very, very, business as usual. But from the personal side, for me, I'm very close to my family, and my parents are in their late 70s. My sister just got over a serious illness. So for me, not being able to go there and not risking, because I was traveling in February. So to me, I'm basically self-quarantined myself and been here pretty much alone in my condo for, several weeks. So it's that's been challenging, not being with my family. That's probably been the hardest part. And I'm sure a lot of people, especially in the medical field, feel the same way, when they have to isolate themselves.
So what are you doing from keeping yourself from going bonkers? Because you're in your condo, you're locked down. And obviously you're having interactions, but what are some of the things that you're doing to just kind of distract yourself? Because it's easy to get sucked into work, and work from the moment you rise out of bed till the point that you're passing out at your desk. What are you doing to keep yourself from going absolutely crazy?
Probably pretty much. I've been doing it's kind of funny. I've been actually getting in better shape as a result of this. I've been going back to my T25 workout in the morning. Nice. I've got I ordered from Amazon a little basketball game, internal basketball game, and I'm pretty much unbeatable at Wii Bowling now. I can pretty much do it with my eyes closed. Unbeatable at Wii Bowling.
All right.
So if you ever come over, we're gonna have a Wii Bowling off when this thing ends.
It sounds like a challenge. It sounds like actually you're challenging. So, all right, very cool. So, and talk to us about some of the things that you've done. So listen, you're old hat at the remote working thing already. So is your team, which kudos to Jody for seeing actually that opportunity, and being able to actually move the entire company to a remote working. But what are some of the things that you guys do that you would say is unique to just kind of keep people engaged, keep it fun? Whereas listen, it could be very actually isolating, to just be in your own world and not have communication. So what are some of the things that you guys do to keep it exciting and keep everyone engaged?
Well, obviously we do a lot of telecom stuff. I mean, obviously with Zoom, GoToMeeting, things like that. I think it's been very, very helpful. We've always used that in the past, so it's just using more of it. And we're playing a lot of fun calls and different things. I know this week coming up, we're going to be doing like who's smarter than the fifth grader contest all together as a company. So just our teams are really creative. They're really fun. We're a fun company. So we're gonna keep things going, and we do a lot of reach out to our clients, etc. We've been doing videos, letting everybody know that we're here if they need anything. So it's just it's one of those times where you get to see the really best in people. So it's good. I'm really proud of the company that I built and the people that work there.
Yep, and I love that video you guys did. You guys did a video where everyone from home just kind of shared a personal message, and I thought it was great just to see something like that. It just was something that shows the human side of what we're all going through, and it was cool just to see everyone in their own home office.
Yeah, like I said, it's for us. It's good that we let people know that we're here and that it is possible to work efficiently from home. It is possible to stay engaged because it can be very isolating. So I think if we use the tools and technology that are available to us, it'll really go a long way in keeping us going in the future.
Fantastic. So listen, I mean, I think we've had a little bit of changes in the mortgage industry over the last few weeks, and specifically your area, like the area of valuation. My goodness, like how different things are. How we've almost been forced to create actually innovation. In a place where, and as an industry, we're good at innovating. We're better at reacting to bad situations that force us to innovate. Talk to us a little bit about some of actually the changes that you've seen. For the instance, like the fact actually that we're now the GSEs are willing to accept the exterior and desktop appraisers.
Well, I mean, we kind of knew it was the way it was going to go. If you look at, appraisers, they typically do tons of appointments a day. They're usually out, for one day all in the field and then come back into the office. So the fact is borrowers are not comfortable having people in their homes that have been in multiple homes that day. And so it's clear that from a safety issue, both for the appraiser and for the borrower, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think the GSEs move to forego the interior inspection is very sound. They also have a waiver that's available in certain instances as well. So I think these are all different measures that are being taken. What I think the future will hold will be alternative innovation that helps self-manage that process.
Interesting. So talk to us. Let's go a little bit deeper. Like, what are some of the things that you're going to be able to do to kind of help some long-term impacts that are going to happen, or long-term trends that are created, from this the fact that we can't go into people's homes, and we don't know actually if people are ever going to be as comfortable with strangers coming into their homes ever again.
I think there's a lot of potential opportunities. I think some things will stick, some things won't. I think being able to not have contact is going to be a significant issue. One of the things that we're working on right now, hopefully it'll be available shortly, is the ability to basically have owners take their own photographs of interiors based on the geographic positioning, being able to know they're in this house, they're in this certain parameter, and they are taking pictures of their house and the particular rooms, etc., and having them take the photographs and then submit it to our platform, which we then can provide to the appraiser, where they could have some visibility and transparency into the home. I think that's going to be a very important piece of technology. I think that one that may be permanently adopted if it's effective. I mean, they've been using this kind of technology in the insurance industry for quite some time. Not too a year or so ago, somebody must have backed into my car when I was at a movie. So I called Allstate. They said, "Oh, download this app, take take some pictures of your car and enter your account, and we'll take care of it." Got home, took a dozen pictures based on what they had, front, side, etc. Uploaded it, put in my bank account information, and 2 days later, I had the money. It was completely digital. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, and obviously the technology exists to monitor fraud. I think it's a smart decision and a good way to go.
Yeah, that's great. Now, so what will it take actually, for legislation to be in place actually to allow that to happen? Where we can be in a place where, because from a technology standpoint, And so much sense. It makes all, and I'm assuming actually, the borrower is going to get very specific instructions about what interior photos they're going to take, and it probably within like an app or something like that, it'll say, all right, go take a picture of the boiler, go take a picture of this. But from a legislative standpoint, what needs to happen for us to be able to have something like that?
Well, from a legislative standpoint, there's nothing that says that they actually can't do that today. It really comes down to Fannie and Freddie's guidelines, also FHA's guidelines on what they'll accept and what the and how the appraiser documents what he's doing. So as long as the appraiser says, this is the scope of my work, I did not take the interior photos, so my analysis is based on the photos I did. And again, they're doing this kind of stuff with MLS. If they use MLS photos for things, they say, hey, this is where I got the data, this is where I got the information, and my opinion is based on that. If MLS is wrong, or if somehow by some miracle the homeowner was able to produce some kind of fraudulent images, which is going to be quite challenging these days, then that covers them and it can work. So, I mean, we probably could do this today. It's just a matter of people saying it's okay.
Wow. That's great. So it's basically about just the guidelines for the lenders and the GSEs to be able to just to allow these things to happen. And then and I don't like talking about too much about one particular product on here, but we're going to in this case because I'm curious. Actually, now is your software right now set up to be able to do this? So if Fannie Mae issued guidance that's saying that they will allow this tomorrow, is that something that works right now within your software?
It is actually we're finishing some testing of it right now. Obviously, this is very new, and before we put something out there, we want to make sure it works. But we expect within the next 2 weeks, it'll be in full production and available to any lender that requires it.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So listen. So I mean, what are other some benefits of having actually the software that you guys have during actually this new norm? Because listen, we're not going to be all going back to offices anymore. We're all going to be actually a lot more resistant to letting people in our houses. Of course, actually, we also have property values are going to potentially fluctuate. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with actually foreclosures. So there's so many different factors. So what other would you say innovations or technologies are built into the software that you guys have that make your software platform even more important than it's ever been before?
I'd probably say efficiency and automation are probably the two key things. With people dispersed, you really need to centralize. A lot of times people are having decentralized appraisal desk and each branch handling their own. I think what people are going to want to do is you're going to want to know where everything is. You want to know it's processed the same. You want to be able to make sure it works without bodies, right? People get sick. You don't know right now who's going to get sick and who's not going to get sick. So having a completely automated platform makes a lot of sense. If an order comes in from a loan officer, you want to make sure that it's being processed. Right now, a lot of people use bodies, right? They throw bodies at this problem where you can have it automatically be assigned based on, a plethora of different criteria where you can cascade and say, if this happens, I want to do this. If this happens, let me do this. So it can literally, smart technology that can make decisions like a human would in essence. And I think we're going to need a lot more of that because we don't know what the next few months actually holds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so the answer, whatever actually we go through the next few months, because we don't know what it holds for us. But technology is definitely a better solution than necessarily just throwing bodies at the problem.
Without a doubt. I mean, if you look at the amount of people it takes to run certain types of operations, specifically in the appraisal space. It doesn't make a lot of sense to keep, hiring people, and it can be very challenging. And I think also, even from a platform like ours, the ability to be able to roll out extremely quickly. We launched our new Evo platform, and one of the biggest things we want to do, we want to make it easy to use, and we wanted to make sure that you could roll it out in a day. If somebody wanted it, said, hey, call up this afternoon, said, I want to be up and running by tomorrow. With our new technology in our platform, it's completely configurable. We do an hour interview, and they're up and running that day. And I'm pretty sure that nobody else probably in our space could say they could get anything close to that.
Oh. So listen, I want you to be frank with me. Is it difficult now to get people to commit to change, because I mean right now, I mean you're no, to go from a where you're have people monitoring the process. Right now we're dealing with unbelievable application activity, for March. Now we're trying to get some stuff closed and hoping and praying that the liquidity gods smile down on us. So we're dealing with all this. Are you finding it difficult to get organizations to make change when it's clear that the change is the best thing for their organization?
Well, it's one of those things where, I could get stuff done faster if I had a sharp saw, but I don't have time to sharpen the saw, right? Fortunately, we had a lot of things that were in process, so they're going to continue the implementation, which is great. I think the issue we have right now is even getting a hold of the people that could benefit so much from this, because they're still navigating the work from home or the transition of working to home, whether it be our prospects or our clients or our business partners out there. People are really having trouble making that adjustment. It's not only logistics of it, but even the emotional component, not being able to connect with the people that they work with, and I feel that sometimes as well. So I could totally appreciate it. You just miss people.
Yeah, totally, 100%. So now, and for your software solutions, is it, do you normally do in-person training, or is all your training done remotely? So there's never actually, physically going to the offices to train the staff.
It's probably about 80% we do remotely, and 20% of the time we actually go out. And again, it's really dependent on the client. I mean, we try to build a solution so easy that an on-site is not really required, but some people just really want that in-house presence, and it helps motivate everyone, and it moves things forward. So we're open to whatever needs to be done to make our clients happy.
That's great. That's great. So when we're all done with this, and everything is said and done with, what do you think actually the valuation space will look like? I mean, obviously it's difficult to predict the future. It's difficult to predict what the GSEs are going to require. If we're going to have private label securities at the levels that we've had them before. But from the things that you're seeing, the innovations that are going to stick, the things that just seem like great ideas, like the ability for borrowers to take photos, abilities to use more data-driven products. What are some of the things that that seem like other good ideas in the valuation space that will take hold as soon as we flatten the curve?
I think another thing is alternative products. We see a lot of our lenders having a lot of success in the HELOC space, where they're able to do inspection. They'll have someone go by the property, and it's called a PCR, property condition report. They'll check a few boxes. Yep, the roof's still on, etc. And they'll take a few photographs. They'll send that to an appraiser or another real estate professional. They'll fill out a form, and boom. So now you can have a product the actual same day. All right. So it's been really successful in the HELOC space. Property condition report and an automated valuation. Boom, you have a product that's third the cost, and basically a tenth the time. I mean, so I think that will take hold. Right now, it's really been kind of confined to the HELOC space and private lenders. But I think when people see how effective these things are, it still mitigates risk. It'll probably become the norm.
Yeah, and especially, listen, a lot of people talking about the HELOC product. Just some great opportunities there, and just taking a lesson from how smooth those transactions go, and like you said, using data products. So that's wonderful. So listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. I know actually you're very busy actually just trying to get your clients actually they were already working with you, working perfectly, and obviously the new clients who are looking to finally look at data solutions. It's great. So I appreciate you taking the time. Anything you want to add before we close this out?
No, I just want everybody to stay safe, and if you need us, Global BienAime will always be here. Thank you.
Fantastic. And well, one last thing, what's the best way if anyone's watching this and they want to get a hold of you or your team?
You can call 877-693-8722. You hit sales, or you can call me directly at extension 1526 and Vlad at globaldms.com. So if you're out there, you need help with anything at all, have questions, Global DMS is here to help.
All right, Vlad, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time.
All right, you stay safe.
All right. And once again, I'm Andrew Berman from National Mortgage Professional Magazine. Thank you so much for joining us tomorrow. We've got Peter Norden, Dave Stevens on Friday. Got one of the last non-QM lenders is going to be joining us on Tuesday next week. And yes, he's taking loan applications. So brokers, get ready. It's going to be an interactive, great chat. And thank you for joining us. And thank you for being there for your borrowers. And that's about it.